Predicting tetrahedral shape. In this example problem, it says which of the following does not have tetrahedral geometry. So we check all that apply. A, B, C, D, and E. We have to look and see what gives us a tetrahedral shape. So we know tetrahedral shape has to have 4 bonds and 0 lone pairs. So knowing the number of pairs and bonds that it has helps us understand the geometry. So this can also help us identify molecules that will most likely form a tetrahedral shape. So we know it has to have 4 bonds. So what this tells me is that there's going to be a central atom, and there's actually going to need to be 4 other atoms that can bond with that central atom so that we have 4 bonds and 0 lone pairs. So armed with that knowledge, we can go through. So ClO4, negative. Actually, if I draw the Lewis dot structure, it has 4 bonds and 0 lone pairs. So that one is not an answer we're looking for. Xe and O4. Notice Xe and has 4 bonds. Will have 4 bonds because it has those oxygens to bond to. So B would be one. Notice I'm just looking for ones that have 4 other atoms for the central atom to bond to. So I can start eliminating, so I can look for ones that have most likely tetrahedral geometries. So I can know which ones do not have it, because those are what we're looking for. Does not. Make sure you read the problem to make sure that we're finding the thing that the problem wants us to find. SO3 to negative. What this tells me is that it has S as a central atom and O3. That means it only can have 3 bonds and 1 lone pair for C. So that must mean that's one of the answers we're looking for. It does not have a tetrahedral shape because it can't form 4 bonds. NH3 is going to have a trigonal pyramidal shape because it has a lone pair. If I draw its Lewis structure, I'm going to have 4, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to have 3 H's and a lone pair. But notice NH4. It's not only because NH4 has 4 bonds that it can make, but we have to make sure it has no lone pairs as well, because then that could become another type of shape. But here, when I draw NH4, I'm going to draw NH4 and I draw this triangular thing to show that it's jutting out. So it's forming a pyramid, as a clue that it's forming a pyramid, and I have an H up here. So this forms a tetrahedral shape. I have to put brackets around it and say that it's positive because it's an ion that I'm drawing the Lewis structure for. And now I have the Lewis dot structure that shows me that it has 4 bonds and 0 lone pairs. So to be very sure about A, B, and E, you would draw their Lewis dot structures and show yourself that they don't have any extra lone pairs. So C and D both are answers to this question because they do not have tetrahedral geometry.